Waiting for that one.
I'm looking disappointedly into the camera as we are going to see Volskaya Foundry coming in as the second map. This one is a SOA map choice, and this is such a rare map to actually see in China.
Yeah, Volskaya still hasn't found its way into the Chinese meta. We see it more and more as time goes on. It looks like teams are starting to feel way more familiar and comfortable when it comes to playing on that map. But as you said, it's still a rare sight. Now, SOA, of course, chose a much bigger battleground this time around. So if they do, or if they did want to go for the Tracer, again, I think on this battleground you would have much more movement freedom. It would be a much bigger battleground in the first place. So I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not sure if they're going to try it again. Up to this point, their Tracer is without victory, and they may have to try again, finding different strategies.
Quite possibly. There are several other assassins who are still quite popular. Tracer is still relatively popular, and as such, Malfurion is still being one of the better supports as well, still holds that threat, being the first pick.
All right, so Tracer's best buddy has been eliminated. Are we going to see her at all? I mean, there's a couple of things that SOA could still do, right? They're very well known for strong fall set plays. I actually think the hero is okay here. If you want to go for him, that is certainly one of the better battlegrounds. You can have the global split push value while people are busy defending the turn-in point. You also have a Mighty Gust that could actually secure the turn-in point if things go really close. But we see that Garrosh coming in there once again. I think it wasn't really Garrosh's game last time, with the variant mayhem going on and with all that disable, but that doesn't change the fact that he's a very powerful warrior, probably the most impactful warrior that we have in competitive heroes.
I would agree. He is currently so scary just due to that AoE taunt, but CE, they are putting some pressure on already to heroes that aren't Garrosh. The Chromie comes in for the first time in a while. This has been a CE special in the past, and they are bringing it back.
They will bring it back indeed, and they actually lost their go-to Chromie player of 2017, Infinity. Sorry. No, never mind, they didn't. That was a different team. That was RPG.
Yeah, that was
My
RPG.
mistake. My mistake. They still have what probably will be KTY on the Chromie, because I think Zuyu is probably going to be the offlaner.
Yeah, it used to be Zuyu who used to play the Chromie whenever he could, with the old KTY.
Exactly. Probably that's what confused me. Like, Zuyu used to play Chromie a lot. He played it very, very well, but of course he's now the team's offlaner, so it could even be 365 if we live in a super crazy world when he, used to be the main assassin for Hot's Lady last season. He was playing a lot of Chromie, but of course I think it's going to be KTY here with Alufil on his Genji, one of the most threatening ones in the league.
Junkrat being hovered over as a ban. I want to just quickly jump back to SOA's ban here. Tyrael would have worked really well with that comp and potentially been a really good protector for anyone getting blown up by Chromie, but for some reason they've avoided it, and now they also have one of the instant protectors banned out against them. With Medivh gone, they are running out of things to protect themselves from Chromie.
I love it. I love that ban on Medivh. We mentioned it could be good against heroes like Varian, like Stukov. Oh my goodness, SOA is committed to bringing the pain, to bringing the aggression, and with double melee assassin coming in, Zeratul still very strong with that VP/build. We also still have, of course, Thrall. Could be the solo laner this time. Crash Lightning did receive a couple of nerfs and is not as popular as it used to be, so we could see a classic Echo of the Elements Thrall in the solo lane. Interesting stuff coming out from SOA.
Yeah, so we're trying to draft like it was last patch in the first game. It did not succeed. They decided this game to put up or shut up by bringing in such a highly aggressive composition. This is either going to be absolutely incredible or a humongous failure from the amount of commitment they have gone in for here.
Now, Tetcher, is this going to be a method draft here? No support. They made it work the other day, but of course the map was a different one.
The main tool. They're missing the main tool for not having a double support draft, not having a support draft at all, sorry, which is the Samuro Abathur combo. That is the whole point. It was originally done by, as we see Diablo and Sonic coming in, very aggressive, very CC frontliners. I like it. And Uther as the support. But yeah, the whole point is it was originally done by KSV Black, where you have Abathur clone Samuro, and that just ends the game. You put them on the core, and they will end the game and likely be almost undefendable against. And this is the style that Method did, and they didn't think they needed support for it. Hashtag play the map.
Exactly. Some people call it cheese. Some people call it extremely creative. I count myself to the ladder group. I loved it with every bone of my body. I think it was a lot of fun. But we see the Uther come in, so no support shenanigans coming in here, but still a very exotic draft, if you will, by Team Soa with the Zeratul and the Thrall. And I think I'm pretty sure Thrall is going to be in the soul lane. Now, even in the soul lane, Thrall could decide to go Crash Lightning because when it comes to brawling near the turn-in points, there should still be plenty of options or plenty of ways for him to find those stacks. But Echo of the Elements, of course, proving to be a little bit stronger in lane in a one-on-one versus situation against Sonya.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, I'm personally really not a fan of going Crash Lightning in a solo lane or even on any map that isn't Battlefield, but I'm super biased towards it in general. Because Battlefield is the only one I feel comfortable saying you're probably going to finish. You're probably going to finish the talent. Whereas all the other maps, you're probably not. And then I just don't feel it gets the value that it makes it worth picking when you can just get an extra charge and stuff like that.
Now, with a Zeratul in play, and VP, Void Prison, being the go-to heroic ability for the most part, we're also going to have to analyze how much follow-up combos they have, how much follow-up abilities they have. The Dragon's Arrow could be nice if timed very well. Then, of course, we could have a Sunder or an Earthquake. So I think there's a certain combo potential there, but it's not really like Apocalypse or other AoE damage abilities. So we're going to see how that turns out with CE on the left-hand side, once again with a Lufel on the Genji. Win plays the Diablo, 365 on Malfurion, KTY, as we said, on the Chromie, and Zuyu on the Sonya.
And on the right-hand side, looking to fight their way back in, it's Soa with Fei E on Zeratul, Uncle G on Uther, TY on Thrall, Klong on Garrosh, and Sori is playing the Hanzo.
Hanzo making it in, and Thrall did indeed go for Crash Lightning, so I think we're going to see a Zeratul roaming around a lot, trying to maybe spend some time in the soul lane as well. The cool thing about Zeratul is, even against heroes that he will probably not do well against in lane, like a Sonya, he can just stay out of sight and soak peacefully behind the towers. As long as the towers don't take too much damage, he's going to be okay. His superior mobility also allow him to escape the Sonya spear quite well. So, yep, Zeratul already marching towards the bottom lane, trying to soak there a little bit. And instead, they're actually putting a 3-4-man rotation against the Sonya and against the middle lane. Interesting. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a Chromie versus Zeratul in the bottom lane.
And we can see the rotations continuing. They're still trying to set up the perfect lane here. TY did, in fact, go for the Crash Lightning. It's risky. This is a map it can work on if the enemy team actually groups up on the objective. You can get some pretty decent stacking done. But it doesn't always happen that way. You have to play it very well, and you have to hope your opponents do position it in the way that is beneficial to you.
Yeah, strong poke coming in from Sori on that Hanzo, landing those scatter arrows very, very efficiently. We could also see a cute little move by the Chromie from earlier. We saw an anticipating placement of the time trap, so Garrosh couldn't really go for the sneaky flank in the early game. Speaking of time traps, Chromie actually went for the time trap talent at 4, so no bronze talent. That is extremely exotic. Instead, we're going to see increased damage after an enemy a cooldown reset on the basic abilities after someone stepped into a time trap.
The time trap build, it can be incredibly effective. It's a great follow-up to heroes like Diablo, in fact, getting the great resets, and can be a good way to deal with heroes like an Uther being on the other team, where if you wanted a temporal loop, sometimes that could just be cleansed out. So how do you set up to land your abilities? The time trap build can be the answer to this.
So that, of course, means more time traps, more Dragon's Breaths, and more Sandblasts as well, as long as people step into it. And you know what's really good for time traps? It's a predictable objective where enemies are almost guaranteed to walk into one of those traps sooner or later. So this could provide KTY with more poking power, securing themselves a objective or two, maybe. KTY actually taking huge amounts of damage, but the Healing Fountain and Uther are keeping him alive for now. Another time trap. There we go. Chromie gets a cooldown reset. It is so cool if you have good map awareness and you try to anticipate from where a Garrosh could come from. This is starting to shape up really nicely here for CE already.
Yeah, it's even good just to zone out a team fight due to so few heroes on the side of Soa actually having an ability that can reveal the time trap safely. You have the Holy Radiance from Uther, which is pretty effective. The Spirit Wolf from Thrall. Otherwise, it's a little bit harder. Garrosh would have to use one of his main engage tools, which is very much less than ideal. And Zeratul, he has to get very close, uncomfortably close to be able to do so.
And can you imagine? Oh, there we go. Another time trap talent. We now have the Chrono Sickness, which of course means that any target that steps into a Time Trap, like that Garrosh here right now, is going to be slowed quite severely. Look at Garrosh trying to get in there, and it all caters towards, I think, the Andoral Anomaly there, level 18, where you have 3 Time Traps available. Huge charge coming in, and Wind is saying no to Uther, absolutely smashing the Paladin.
Nicely done. Wind with a great roam to set that up and actually pick up that first kill of the game. And KTY continues to reposition that time trap, make it as unpredictable as possible, and is continuing to just harass. They've got so much setup. The Malfurion route, the Diablo stuns, and the time traps. It's so hard now for Chromie to miss, although that was a little early just then.
That was a little early indeed. The time trap is available once again. Here comes the cooldown reset. Klong actually still has the healing pulse as well, so they're definitely going to have to use that if they want to make sure to hold this platform. If they step away from it right now, the first protector is going to get unleashed, and the first protector, ladies and gentlemen, is oftentimes so important. Being able to take tower after tower after tower. Here comes an engage on Sonya.
Sonya moving in though, just dropping the damage. Wind is in the backline, causing as much disruption as possible. The healing pulse is taken out. So that removes a lot of the survivability of Soa as Genji moves forward. He came from below, finding the perfect angle. Gets 2, gets out, looking for a third, but a clutch heal by TY keeps Sorry alive.
Yeah, and the patience by Lufel, so well done. He took a little bit of damage from the towers there, but he did not get overzealous and chase an enemy down behind the walls because he realized there was still healing on the healing fountain available for Team Soa. But as it is, the first protector goes over to Soa. Both Diablo and Sonya are already in there to secure the damage amplification and the armor on the objective. 2 towers, 4 towers actually gone already. So much zoning available, and with some of the heroes of Soa just dying, it'll be quite hard for them to defend this well.
You can see here slowing sands for Chromie. If she was to join this, she might get another kill. You can see the power of that protector, the amount of burst damage you can actually do. Looking for TY as well, chasing him down. But Uncle G healing him up, and nice dodge by TY.
Wow, they're using their abilities very well. Sharpshooting from that protector. And, of course, in perfect synchrony as well. That is the beauty of the protector. That's what oftentimes makes it more powerful in competitive play. Never mind, KTY is finally hunted down by Fei, one of the dedicated Chromie hunters on that Zeratul. But yeah, the beautiful thing about those protectors in competitive play is, of course, that the 2 players piloting it are going to be totally in sync in voice communications, being like, okay, we're going to use all of our abilities on that target right now. And it is so hard, actually, even for experienced players, to escape all the burst damage, as you said, that the protector is able to dish out.
Exactly. They can call out completely specific targets, which is cool to see. But also cool to see is we did just sort of skim over it, but it is actually very cool to mention the Zeratul pressure onto Chromie. This is a side effect of the fact Zeratul has come back into the meta with this cleave build. Beautiful Indomitable there by Klon. But the fact that Zeratul is in the meta is a big reason why mages have actually become a little bit less popular. With Chromie Burst, Zeratul Burst, all these burst heroes make mages so much harder to use. But KTY still chose to take the risk of the Chromie quite early as well.
Yeah. It's so cool to see how, on the one hand, Zeratul becomes this anti-mage almost, being able to just chunk them down so heavily, being able to shut them down with a VP as well. But on the other hand, CE showing no respects in that regard, picking the Chromie, a hero that used to be so powerful, even in China as well. Sonya with a beautiful poison spear here, by the way, keeping Zeratul invisible for now. The VP was a little bit too late to stop Genji from executing. In the meantime, we see Diablo fall by the 4-man onslaught for Soa, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Diablo will come back, though, thanks to the Soul Stones.
Yes, he will, and as such, Diablo making CE a 5-man again, but Diablo is significantly weaker. It's still pretty early in the game, though, so Zeratul will be back as well, keeping the leader only a 1-level lead for CE.
Yeah, we also see the X-Strike come in for Genji. We've seen a rise of X-Strike, actually, throughout all the regions as of late. And I think what many Genji players really appreciate about X-Strike is, of course, the fact that it can be served, or it can be used in so many multiple ways. You can use it as an engage to finish off a target. You can also use it as an escape, which against heroes like Garrosh, or even Thrall in the stuns from Hanzo as well, can be valuable. You get tossed in, you get stunned, X-Strike to safety, Swift Strike on top of that, and you're good to go.
Vision being gained consistently by Chromie, which is going to be very helpful. It does technically reveal Zeratul as well. So if Zeratul is ever in the area that she's able to drop that, then she can gain some good knowledge so that she doesn't get taken out.
Tetra, I wonder at how many stacks Thrall is currently sitting on the Crash Lightning, because to me it seems Like, there weren't really that many longer skirmishes in which he could actually stack it up quite nicely. Up to this point, most of those battles were over relatively quickly, which is not really the perfect situation for Thrall to thrive when it comes to getting stronger on the Crash Lightning.
This is true. This is true. I'm still kind of... I don't know. I just like to see it, but once again, that's a slight issue with the fact that we are watching a clean feed. We're not able to just hit control 1 at any point and see the level of stacking process. Chromie not landing the Sandblast this time. Sonya being forced to take a little bit of a more roundabout escape route here. Not get herself caught out, but finally turning in as Wind has arrived from the side. Good Divine Shield by Uther here. If they're able to dodge the Apocalypse pretty much in its entirety, but not Uncle G, who is taken out. X-Strike on top of TY. The Sundering to turn it round though, but Hanzo gets Chromie, and KTY picks up another kill.
Yeah, the healing poles and the turret are all placed next to each other, but CE doesn't even bother standing in the vicinity. They are taking the lead in that team fight, destroying both Uther, Zeratul, and of course the Hanzo. This is a beautiful outcome for them. They don't even need it. I think there was a turret dropped as well by Soa, so they ended up picking up that one again. Here we can see the beautiful Divine Shield to keep Thrall safe, but here comes the VP, shutting down Diablo. Genji now getting a little bit too overzealous, X striking into the backline. Here comes the taunt by Garrosh, and the execution spot on, but it was too little too late for Soa to turn things around at this point.
You can see Zeratul getting very close to killing KTY, but the healing from Malfurion just too much, landing at those Moonfires, able to keep everyone nice and healthy. So though, speaking of nice and healthy, they are all back. They're on even talent still. They're looking for a turnaround. They're going to try and blow up Diablo. Taunt is used here to focus him down, and Diablo is gone, but Fei completely just dropped by Zuyu.
Who needs a Diablo when you have a Sonya who can still tank most of that damage? She goes in. Strong healing by Malfurion. The Twilight Dream interrupted. Soa is coming back. Hanzo ends up falling, though. KTY almost untouched in the backline, shooting Sandblast left, right, and center.
Clog tanking through as best he can, dropping as much damage, but KTY, like you said, untouched, just drops damage after damage, ability after ability, forcing Soa to go back.
Yeah, and what looked like a disastrous turn of events here against CE when Diablo fell so early, they salvaged the situation quite handsomely here. Diablo, of course, is not really known to be the most mobile of warriors when it comes to escaping the enemy team's onslaught. As such, he was trapped in there, but tactical feeding, well executed. The Protector is, of course, now in their hands. And Diablo coming back from the Hall of Fountains, or from the Hall of Storms, will pilot the Protector right now, alongside with Sonya. The two main frontliners in the Protector is normally the best way to go, because the Protector is going to be frontlining anyway, so he fulfills the exact same role as the two heroes inside. Now, they just need to make sure that the backline doesn't fall victim to the VP, and that's exactly the case, Tetcher.
The Protector can walk into the VP as well, which is a good idea here. Pause that duration so you can take this fight better. A beautiful Twilight Dream. Ooh. And see ya, Thrall Protector damage. Rock 'em and sock 'em with that robot. As Uther goes down too. Garrosh in the backline though, throws a minion and he kills off Chromie. Good job in the background, but the Protector is just wrecking the backline of Soa, and Clog is left all alone, sustaining for a very long time, but even he can't win this fight. And that is a 4-for-1 in favor of CE.
I think CE could have actually saved the Chromie there if only they hadn't used their time stop, or their timeout, I should say, and the ice block at the same time. You could really see how the Protector was marching into the VP willingly to drop the shields from the pilot, but both ice block and timeout were used so quickly that the shields didn't actually go through. So maybe with that little bit of extra protection, they could have made Chromie survive. As it is, though, still a fabulous outcome for CE. Taking out the Zeratul as well, staggering the deaths a little more. Just really, really well played. And that Protector, by the way, seems to be the MVP now. More kills on that thing than on any of the heroes, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree more. They are absolutely devastating with that Protector. And it's working out very well for them. Zuyu hovering around, finds some friends, doesn't want to fight them specifically, but is happy to zone them out. Moves in with the rest of his team, and they will easily take down this fort. You can see Soa not even attempting to defend this. They are a talent down and 2 levels behind. It is not worth taking that kind of risk, especially with Zeratul not alive. He has just revived, but that fort is already gone.
Yeah, sometimes you need to let go if you're far behind like Soa. If you're just so close to getting that 16, there is no use defending a fort that probably can't be defended anyways. So they're waiting a little bit longer. 16 is here right now. Benediction coming in for Uther. That, of course, allows him to time his abilities, or to cast them twice. depending on which he uses after activation. We see Thunderstorm coming in for Thrall, so important on the Crash Lightning build. If you don't have a lot of stacks on Crash Lightning in the first place, well, Thunderstorm is going to help you out to have a little bit more oomph on to your ranged poke anyways. So the tools have been shown. What is Soa going to make with them? Even Zerkul, by the way, getting a little bit stronger with the Cleave build. Diablo, though, such a powerhouse. So hard to kill. No dedicated tank training available, really, for Team Soa.
Ooh, looking to try and take out Zuyu, but a lovely Nature's Cure by the Malfurion to keep him alive. Now comes a little bit of danger for exactly that reason. The stuns are good, but the Divine Shield for the turnaround Sundering. The Void Prism is setting up. They've already dropped the Dragon Arrow, so now can they get anything out of this? No, they can't. They don't have the only thing left after using all those abilities for setup even.
Thatcher, that was a little unfortunate for Team Soa. They tried to make something happen with the Dragon's Arrow and, of course, the Sundering. They were actually landing okay, but the VP basically stole all the momentum. It stole all the momentum from Soa's Counter-Strike. It basically gave the heroes of CE some breathing room, and as such, all the momentum was gone. Soa no longer in a position to fight, and they had to retreat once more. And now we see the Anderhall Anomaly coming in for Chromie. 3 traps now. They'll be placed near the turning point. That's going to be so hard for Soa to punch through.
Someone's going to have a bad day now that that is the case. Those Andorra Anomalies are so difficult to actually fight against. So having these on the board is going to make any opportunity. Look at this. The rotating trap area. I love it.
That is just rude. That is just mean, K2I. You can't do that.
It's great. I absolutely love it. Here we can see Soa. They're looking for a kill, looking to try and get some kind of advantage before the objective spawns. And Zuyu is the target. Beautiful stun, beautiful brute follow-up, and Zuyu will fall here. That is good timing and good comeback XP from Soa.
Unfortunately, there aren't any bosses available for Team Soa because on Volsky, because that would have been the time to go for the boss. When you're so far behind, go and take the maximum value you can muster. But I think Soa, they realize, you know what? We're not really wasting so much time now trying to go for the conveyor belts and the turn-in points. We're trying to get more kills, we're trying to get more structures, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Diablo, though, Wind is not done just yet. Looks like they want to go for a 4 versus 5.
Dragon Arrow knocks Chromie a little bit for a loop there, which does buy them some time. And as such, they're able to pull back and gain positioning. They don't have a kill Diablo, so they're going to begin moving on to the point. Those time traps are very close, but Klong finally is going to start gaining percentages for his team. Sonya's still 15 seconds out. They have a very good amount of time. Despite not having level 20 yet, they are in a good position to try and buy themselves some time here.
Yeah, all they need is that Protector. They need to channel it all the way through. Thrall clearing up some of those time traps. But you pointed out a really good thing. Wind was just trying to buy some time himself to prevent Team Soa from stepping on the platform, so they would actually buy a couple of seconds for Sonya to respawn. Sonya, speaking of her, she's now back as well, going for the spear range at level 20, by the way. So no additional protection needed, obviously.
And as such, we are seeing Soa just backing away from this. They still don't have level 20. They got 58% on the Protector, and now they are a hero down, so it's not worth it for them. They're just going to grab, in this case, as many mercenaries as possible, put pressure elsewhere on the map, maybe see if they can take a fort to give themselves level 20 before the Protector makes its way to the keep.
I think the best way for Team Soa to stay in the game right now is to put on the aggression, like they're doing right now. Keep the enemies occupied, get a fort while the Protector is not shown just yet. Lethal, by the way, needs to be so careful. If CE now falls into staggered deaths, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for them. Only Diablo in the Protector. No bonus damage available up to this point. But Zuyu on the Sonya is already marching towards the bottom. And with this Protector Tetcher, if they get 1 or 2 kills like they have in the past, it could be a keep, maybe even the game.
Oh, that's a 3-man Void Prism. What can they make out of this? As we see Garrosh moving in Dragon Arrow too early. It completely misses. Garrosh completely caught in the time trap. Zeratul blinking away to freedom, but Genji easily chases him down. And now Alufal putting pressure onto the backline as everyone of Soa retreats.
No, that was their one engage. It looked so good. The 3-man Void Prison, that was everything they needed with the Dragon's Arrow. Maybe they could have forced a fight there, but I think Zeratul was pressured or maybe even stunned or otherwise interrupted from manually reactivating the VP to make that Dragon's Arrow go through. It looked a little bit iffy, and it certainly felt quite bad for Team Soa. Here comes Sonya, getting tossed over, trying to get in there. The shields are strong by the Protector. This is the keep. The Protector still at 70% health, smashing and pounding his way to the victory. And without Zeratul, without the VP, I don't think there is much Soa can do to hold this.
They're going to try, though.
Timeout.
Chromie is the target, the main damage dealer currently outside of the Protector, but the timeout's buying so much time. Hit the Protector if Chromie's hit the timeout. There's the Sundering. Chromie is obviously going to go down, but the fact is the Protector's being ignored, and the core is gone. That is GG, and CE takes a 2-0.
Wow. If there's one word that I would have to use to describe those two victories against SOA, it would be clean. Under no given circumstance did CE falter. They seemed to look very strong and very confident in what they were doing. And what we would also like to highlight here, Tetra, is one of the biggest weaknesses of CE in the past, which was drafting, certainly wasn't an issue this time. They